Hello, it is Saturday, July 13th, 2024. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Saturday crossword today, which means we're going to be solving what may well be the trickiest crossword of the week, the second of two themeless puzzles. And this tricky themeless edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Quotidiophile, Overfull Hitbox, and, as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster and the incorrigible Sheeler Beeler. Thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They do, of course, keep this series running day in, day out. For that, I'm very grateful. Thank you to those four, and thanks to everybody who's a patron of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. I really do appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the channel in that same manner, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the description field link where you'll find the bonus videos available to patrons. That includes this week's mini puzzle pseudo speed solve, which will be up a couple of hours after this video has been posted. I have recorded it, just haven't posted it just yet, but we'll do so immediately after this. So look forward to that if you're a patron. Thanks if you are. Did better this week, actually, than I did last week, so that was good. In any case, there's also a link in the description field. Did I say that? Anyway, thanks to everybody who's a patron. And thanks as well if you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, which is a big help. And with that, let's just get on to the crossword, shall we? There's also the Daily Solve Discord chat server available via the description field. All right, so this is a crossword by Eli Cotham, whose second puzzle, I believe this is, for the New York Times. It was edited once again by Joel Faliano. It's a themeless crossword, so just straight solving, and it might be a tricky one. Let's find out if it is. Let's start solving. Interesting grid pattern. I assume it will mean essentially nothing, but it is intriguing looking. Anyway, in blank, completely, in toto, means completely. So let's look at the crosses on that to be sure. Engine type. I don't know offhand what that. Oh, turbine maybe? Turbine engine? That's probably like on an aircraft, for instance. Let's look at this. Word often in parentheses on a form. Other side. No, it's going to be one word. I don't know what this is. Sample offer. Sample offer. Try one or try some. If someone's offering you a sample in a store, maybe they could say, sort of wanted to start with try, or maybe taste. Taste this? It's a bit of an odd way to phrase it. I don't know. Let's look at some short crosses. Olympian Sebastian. Ooh, I don't know. Sebastian Coe? That would clash with turbine, which is entirely possible. I mean, I might have this wrong. Debut feature for DreamWorks Animation. Oh, maybe this is wrong. Is that ants? Is there any way that's ants? Okay, so Seb Coe is certainly an Olympian, and ants, I think, might be the debut feature for DreamWorks Animation. So then what would this be? Engine type. Twin cam? I think there's something like that. There's a cam is definitely. Oh, I wish I had this knowledge more fully formed in my head. But a cam is definitely a sort of element of a car, and I think twin cam might be. I don't know if this is actually right. It's certainly a phrase I've heard. Word often in parentheses on a form. Sample offer. Right. This could be taste this. It actually could be. What an odd way to say it. I think I would be slightly put off if someone put something in my face and said, taste this. But it does technically work. Nickname for Hoops great, Isaiah Thomas. I don't have a clue about that, unfortunately. I'm sorry. First Muslim actor to win an Academy Award. Oh, is it Mahershala Ali, maybe? It looks like it might be roughly the right length. Yeah, that fits. Okay. For Moonlight, presumably. Great film. Word often in parentheses on a form. What is this? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Michael K. Williams' role on The Wire. Oh, well, he played Omar. Incredibly memorable character on The Wire. Some Depression-era public art, WPA murals, works what is it? Works progress agency? Something like that. But anyway, those classic sort of labor movement murals, the sort of New Deal era murals. Let's see. Word often. There's a great one in Coit Tower in San Francisco. Anyway, word often in parentheses on a form. Open. No. One. I need to think of one word. What is this? This is going to seem so obvious in retrospect, but I don't know what it is right now. We've been had. It's a trap, or it's a something like that. Oh, optional. That's what it is. Okay, so, right, a particular field could be, it says maybe telephone number, but it's optional. You don't need to put it in. Okay, that's what it is. We've been had. Okay, yeah, we looked at that. Fertilizer compound. Nitrites or nitrates. I think nitrites, is something you'd find in fertilizer, among other things. Jetpack for short. I guess I shouldn't put that in just yet because I'm not certain, but I do think it's going to be an I. Jetpack for short. I don't know what that's about. Heraklion is its capital. Oh, is it Crete? That feels very Greek. It feels vaguely familiar, but I wouldn't have been able to tell you that if you'd asked me without crosses. Where music and passion were always the fashion in song. Oh, that's the Copacabana, that sort of classic song. Like some cereal, oated cereal of oats, oated cereal. Good thing, a plus would be a good thing, as opposed to a minus. Shakespearean killer, an asp. There we go. Anthony and Cleopatra. We've been had. It's a setup. That's what it is. I should have gotten that immediately. Okay. So, someone pointed out the other day that the eel was the official serpentine animal of the New York Times crossword, and then someone in the comments pointed out the asp was probably a follow-up. I think that's right. That's a good category as well, because you can include eel, a fish, and asp, a snake, in the sort of serpentine categorization. But I think it's probably right. The eel, the asp, definitely. Anyway, jetpack for short. Oh, U.S. Air Force? Yeah, okay. Pack in the sense of a group of people, and jets as in aircraft, fighter jets, for instance. So U.S. Okay, so I was wrong. It wasn't nitrites. It was nitrates. Okay. Well, it's good that I took it out, so it didn't mislead me, and mislead me, and that's a thing that it's easy to fall prey to. To even think to yourself, oh, I think this might be the case, and then put it in, and then forget that you were debating one or the other, and then act as though it was a confident earlier fill. So it's good to just maybe leave it out if you're not certain. Mire. Oh, fen. Oh, right. Okay. Well, this I didn't realize I was uncertain about. In fact, I wasn't uncertain about it. But oaten. So it's not oated cereal. It's oaten cereal. It's of oats. And that's much better than oated. So I'm not upset about that at all. That was a poor earlier answer. But anyway, a fen, a marsh, a mire. Okay, so there we go. So what about this? Nickname? Okay, I don't know that. Wake-up calls are roosters or something? I don't think so. Okay. Tibetan ethnic group. Oh, right, interesting. I wonder if I'll recognize that when it goes in, but I don't know offhand. Prince Harry's real first name. I don't know. What is Harry a nickname for? Obviously not Harold. Oh, Henry, probably. Is that true? I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it must be, but I didn't know that. Okay, doesn't go any farther. Weights? Slips. Ers. There we go, makes a mistake. Okay, so that's looking okay. Alley-oops? Question mark? So alley-oop is a basketball reference, I think, but But I think what's going on here is a mistake, an oops that might be committed in an alley, maybe a bowling alley? Or what? Not actually sure what we're looking for here. I mean, obviously my first thought when I see alley would be an alley in a city or something, and that could be the case, but a bowling alley might be a place where you could imagine there being a phrase for an error or a mistake of some kind, but I'm not sure what the answer to this is. Fat chance, like, this might not be weights. I was thinking this could be something like hell I do or something like that, but that would make this look like Zeke, which could well be the case. I just don't know, unfortunately. So let's just try it and see. Wake up calls. Oh, réveillés. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that's literally from the French for to wake up, basically. Okay, so yeah, this could well be the case. So is this 7 something alley? Oh yes, it is. It's a 7-10 split in bowling. I was right to think maybe the alley referred to a bowling alley. It does. So a 7-10 split is when you've got the two sort of most separated pins, the sort of corners of the triangle remaining after your first attempt. So Tibetan ethnic group. Oh, Sherpa. Okay, well there we go. So serving dishes. I don't know what that's about. Serving dishes, question mark. It's a pun. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Indie rocks. Oh, Tame Impala is a rock band. So there we go. Kernels are the kernel of an idea, maybe the gist of an idea. Does that help with this? Serving dishes. I don't know what that's about. I'm sorry. Traffic hang up. So so kernel's right. So if that's gist, traffic. Oh, a snarl maybe. People can sometimes refer to as sort of snarl of traffic. Maybe is that. I'm not certain about that either, unfortunately. Hint, a taste, just a hint, oh no, because we wouldn't have taste again in the crossword. So maybe a tinge, just a hint of color, just a tinge of color, maybe. Again, I'm not certain, but it's plausible. Blank vincit amor. Oh, this is a Latin phrase I've certainly seen before, but I don't know what it is, unfortunately. I think it's love conquers all, but I'm not sure what I guess this would be the word for all, because vincit would be conquers, presumably, and amor obviously is love. Omni something? Omnia? Company with a Braleluya line. Spanx has, I think, is a sort of shapewear company. So that could be it. I've not heard of Braleluya, but that could well be the case. Let's look at that. This is obviously X is distinctive. Parts of jazz combos. Saxophones, yeah. Great. So jazz combos, jazz groups. Someone who knows the drill informally is Sarge. There we go. Like a drill sergeant, for instance, knows the drill. Traffic hang up. I think it is a snarl. Okay, this does look like Omnia, doesn't it? So what is this? Serving, gossipy. Serving, oh, I see. So if the person is gossipy, they're serving dishes. They're dishing. They're sharing the gossip. Okay, that's what it is. And then kernels indeed are gists. Okay, well, good. I'm actually quite pleased with how that corner worked out. I felt like I was really sort of on the wavelength of this corner down here, even though it felt tricky. I was actually kind of intuiting it pretty well, so I'm pleased about that. Doesn't go any farther. Halts, right. Okay, it wasn't waits, it was halts. Stops. And then fling is hurl. There we go. Okay, I feel like I'm getting into this puzzle. Veil material. I spoke too soon. Is this tulle? Is it a T? Maybe I'm thinking of tweel, T-U-I-L-E, and I'm confusing those. I probably am. Desire for a picnic. No rain. There we go. Okay, so fat chance. Okay, I was right about this. Fat chance. Like hell I will, maybe. certain consumer protections. Okay, so it's laws of some kind. Obviously, it says certain consumer protections. I don't know, safety laws or sort of rebate laws or something. I don't know what this is, unfortunately. Frustrating players in Go Fish. So technically, this could be referring to the players, or it could be referring to the act of frustrating players. So when you frustrate a player. But it's probably referring to the players, which means it's probably plural. Place. Could be place as in a noun, a location, but it could be placed, like to place something, to put it somewhere, to set it there. I don't know. Fanfare. Okay, just after saying I was feeling more confident about this puzzle, I seem to be losing steam quickly. Fanfare. A blare or... I don't know. Author whose given name was Alan Alexander. Doesn't ring a bell to me, unfortunately. New York City neighborhood in which the first pizzeria in the United States was opened, 1905. Oh, right, interesting. Is it Nolita? Would that have been named in 1905? Probably. There's probably a more obvious one that I'm not thinking of, but I don't know. Broadway honor. Tony? That would work with my wanting this to be T, which I'm wondering if I'm just inventing that, but it would work with this, but that's not long enough. Broadway honor. Tonys, the Tony Awards? It's still not long enough. I don't know. Broadway, I don't know what that is. Okay, how likely do I think this is to be Nolita? I'm really just saying that because it's a New York City neighborhood. I don't actually know it specifically for the first pizzeria being opened, but that's a really interesting fact if so. And I don't know if it is the neighborhood. In a very unfriendly way. Oh, okay, you know what? In a very unfriendly way will be something Lee. So I think I might actually go with it then. I'm going to go with Nolita there. Because that would be an odd coincidence to have an N and an L. Although New York City's big, there are a lot of neighborhoods. Not taking half measures. All in, yeah, if you're all in, you're not taking half measures. Sought for help, say. If you sought someone for help, you... don't know. Oh, it is Tony something. It's a Tony nod. Okay, so there we go. Veil material tool. Boy, I actually don't really know even how to pronounce that necessarily, but it's clearly right. And then certain consumer protections are lemon laws. This is a car. This is this has to do with vehicles. If you sold a car that's a dud, that's a lemon, there's protection. There's some degree of protection around it. I don't know exactly how this works, but I definitely recognize the phrase. Okay, so frustrating players in Go Fish. Leaks? I don't know what this is. No, I'm sorry. Fanfare. Eclat? If you sort of do something with a burst of eclat, a kind of fanfare, maybe? I'm not certain about. Oh, well, actually, this could be isolate. Yes, in a very unfriendly way is isolate. Maybe that is that. Maybe that is the answer. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I see that. It wouldn't have been my first thought as a synonym, but that's okay. Oh, frustrating players in Go Fish are liars. Yeah, Go Fish does rely on players being honest. I don't think I've played Go Fish in decades, but I think basically you say, I'm looking for this kind of card, and then if the player doesn't have it, they say Go Fish. And obviously that requires them to be honest. Sought for help, say. Ran to. If you ran to someone, there you go, you sought help from them. Okay, so this is A.A. Milne. Oh, right, okay. Whose given, I didn't read this properly. Whose given name was Alan Alexander. I read this as, I don't know, birth name or something, so I was imagining a pen name, pseudonym. But no, it's the given name, the name before the surname. So Alan Alexander Milne, A.A. Milne. Had I thought about that more accurately and carefully, it might have occurred to me A.A. Right, well, there's one famous author who goes by A.A., at least that I'm aware of. And then place, oh, okay, so in your place, in your stead, in lieu of you. Okay, so there we go. Musical Dua Lipa. There we go. There's a name at least I know. Sorry, that's enough out of me. I'll show myself out. I'll behave, maybe? About. I don't think that's right. Is it about? I don't think so. Learned or learned, perhaps. It could be either of those. It could be learned, a verb, or it could be learned, an adjective, but I don't know which. Dried off, toweled off? Yeah, that's probably right. About, oh, right. About that, as to that, you could say, in regard to that. Okay, sorry, that's enough out of me. I'll shut up. There we go. That's what it is. I was on the right track, sort of. Strictly adhere to the rules would be to hew to the rules. And the to in parentheses means we're going to apply it both to this clue, but also to the answer. So strictly adhere to, but also hew to. All right. So learned or learn. Oh, maybe it is learned because it could be literate. If you're a literate person, you'd be well read. You could said to be learned. That's probably right. Oh, why not? Well, sure. Yeah. Home of the Peabody Museum of Natural History. I don't know. I mean, Waco is a city in 4 letters. I have absolutely no idea if that's correct. It could be. I don't know. 30-day month. 30 days hath September, so that could fit. April, June, and November. I think that's probably right. Gave a bit of Halloween decoration for short. TP'd, toilet papered. There we go. So you threw, toilet paper rolls over a house. That's what that's getting at. Notoriety, ill repute or disrepute. Don't know which of those it would be, but kind of famous and poor reputation. All right, expression of lamentation. Woe, what would this be? Expression of lamentation, I'm not sure. Support in a dance studio. Bar, maybe this isn't well sure. Because in a dance studio, you could have, a bar that you could, hold. So, maybe it's yeah, sure. That would also fit. Let's try that. Let's look at this. Organization whose members work to get tips. Organization, work to get tips. I don't know. Better Business Bureau, in the sense that you can sort of submit a complaint or a tip about bad behavior. I don't think that's right. ABA. I don't know what this is, sorry. Expression of lamentation. Twisted Sisters genre. Oh, Twisted Sister, the metal? Hair metal maybe? Is that a sort of hair metal band? I don't really know Twisted Sister, to be honest with you. But that feels like the right rough time period for the era of hair metal. Kind of big, long hair, or probably in a lot of cases wigs. Okay, sort of related to sort of glam rock, and maybe that's wrong, I don't know. Swept under the rug, say. If you hid something, you swept under the rug. Okay, so ill repute. Okay, so yes, one of my guesses was correct there. And then takeout order, a date? An order feels like a weird way to phrase that. Let's see. Oh, home of the Peabody Museum of Natural History. Okay. Well, it's not Waco because that didn't start with a W. So it's Yale. It must be Yale University. Okay. I didn't actually know that, but there we go. So takeout order. Oh, right. Okay. So this is a proofreading mark, takeout order. So I actually don't know how you'd pronounce this out loud. Deal? I actually don't know. But you'd write that on a manuscript or something to indicate remove this. So Sam of Jurassic Park, Sam Neill, there we go, is one of the leads in the film Jurassic Park, the great film. An organization whose members work to get tips. Oh, is it the NBA? Is it because they might tip the ball in? I think that might be right. And then expression of lamentation is, ah, me. So you'd sort of maybe swoon while saying that. And there we go. I really enjoyed that puzzle. I really felt like I was sort of on this puzzle's wavelength, even when I was struggling with it. It felt like I was always right on the verge of kind of another wave of solving. And I suppose to some extent it's helpful to get some long answers like Mahershala Ali that seemed fairly obvious from the clue, but obviously it's only fairly obvious if you know that name. And if you don't, that would be a much tougher get. So in that sense, I was a bit fortunate. But in general, I just sort of felt like I was finding my way through. Oh, and then things like Nolita. I mean, if you didn't know that's the name of a New York neighborhood, again, this would be a much tougher clue to answer because you'd be getting crosses, but you wouldn't really know what any of it adds up to. So that would be pretty tough. If you didn't, I guess fortunately none of these are very strange words. So that's okay. It makes it a bit better in the crosses. Anyway, there we go. I thought that was a really fun puzzle, but I could imagine this one being quite variable by solver, just depending on where your areas of knowledge happen to be. So let me know how you fared with this one, this Saturday, this tricky Saturday themeless puzzle. I really enjoyed it personally, but let me know. And I'll be back tomorrow with the big jumbo themed Sunday edition of the Crossword. So do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.